Well, hello people. So Peter here, down in the old man's shed. Yes, and it's about time too, isn't it? But here we are. So hopefully can start coming back down into the old shed now, because today is the first day, what, English summertime, isn't it? The clocks went forward this morning, and yeah, looking at the weather out there, it's a right dull, grey, rainy day out here in London, and I can tell you the temperature in the shed is 10 degrees, maybe 9.5 to 10 degrees, so it ain't exactly warm. And yesterday was a bit better actually. It was a nice sunny day yesterday when I did a little bit of filming on the layout, and it was up in the 15-16 degrees, so what a difference a day makes, as they say. But yeah, so today is as I say, so it's a Sunday, it's 4 o'clock now in the afternoon, and I can start maybe coming down and, you know, enjoying the layout a little bit more, because, you know, as I said in the previous videos, I just stayed out of the shed. It was too cold, didn't want to come down and keep putting the heating on, because I don't know what that's going to do to the you know, the running costs of the house and all the rest of it. So as a result of that, the shed got really cold, and therefore the chips in the locos, because some locos got put away, some of them weren't, they're still on the layout, and I wasn't going to you know, fire up the layout and get those chips. That would be very cold, and start, you know, warming them up and then letting them get freezing cold again afterwards. So I thought, no, you know, not the cost that they are, just leave well alone. So, you know, I didn't get to enjoy my layout, and I didn't get to, you know, be able to make YouTube videos for you, you know, just keep an eye, you know, check on here and everything. So but hopefully we're past that now. Things onwards and upwards, as I say. The layout looks like, so yeah, the layout has come through yet again with no issues whatsoever, apart from one yard lamp where the LED failed, and I thought, oh, you know, would I be able to repair it? Well, I'm pleased to say I did repair it, so I'm well happy. I'll show you in a minute. I'll put a little bit on it and show you the yard lamps, which is a scale model scenery laser cut card kit, you know, but I have put 4 working LEDs on the very top of the tower, and nice prototypical, because I've seen those towers around the place, so, you know, it's great. They don't necessarily always sit on the end of an you know, extendable arm. There are some that just have a square box at the top of the tower, and you've got the 4 lights on the corner. So that's the style I've gone for, and I think it works very well. Anyway, so that was done. So the layout, because of that, is now 100%. Everything's working. Not this time, because I went up last Saturday. I went to Alexandra Palace, to the London model show there, and very nice. And of course it was a train strike was on. And I'm here in South East London, and I've got to get to North London, but I wouldn't have used the train anyway, because I got the bus from the top of the road. That took me to Lewisham. Lewisham is the Docklands Light Railway. That took me via Canary Wharf down to the Bank in the city. The Bank is the Underground, the Central Line. That took me to Finsbury Park. Finsbury Park, got on a bus that took me straight outside the door of Ali Pali, where the show was on. So although it sounds all, you know, quite a lot to do, it all merged together quite well, and yeah, so that was fine. I mean, although I got a car, I could have driven. I didn't know, with the rail strike, I thought, well, you know, a lot of other people are going to drive, so the parking's going to be really, you know, I don't know. Well, I just didn't know what the parking would be like, so I thought, well, you know, I've got access to all this public transport, so why risk the car? I mean, you know, driving in London in a car anyway is a, you know, it's a cash cow. You know, there's so many cameras on there just waiting to catch you do this. You know, just, you know, you might make the slightest mistake and there's a camera watching you, and bang, you get a penalty charge. Because, you know, driving in London, that's all it is. It's you know, just enforcing traffic laws and things like that. But it's basically just to make the money for the councils. That's all they're there for. I mean, anyway, rant over about that. Don't get into that. Don't start about Sadiq Khan. No, don't do that. Oh my gosh. So anyway, Ali Pali, lovely show. Some fantastic exhibits there, you know, whatever, and obviously quite a few big names there. Although The likes of Hornby and Rails of Sheffield and Hattons weren't there, but you know, Dapol was there, and Bachmann was there with their show. There was the Curacao and Cavalex and some other EMR, is it? I think so. Anyway, but so, you know, yeah, there was enough people there, and you know, if you had the money, enough stuff to buy. But I wasn't buying anything. There's only one product I was after, and that was Scale Model. It's not Scale Model Straight. The West Hill Wagon Works, because I wanted more magnetic couplings. So I went along to their stand, and the guys know me there because I've used Hunt couplings from day one. I mean, I was looking at the other day the layout. What started me on DCC was a trip behind Flying Scotsman, which was in 2018. And because of that, I then got into the world of DCC modelling, because I bought a DCC TTS version of the Flying Scotsman model, right? And then of course I wanted to see what it would look like going around a track. And so Torridon Road was born. And I suppose that happened in 2019. So I was able to get a DCC layout together to run the Scotsman around and everything. So so that was back in the day, and then Hunt couplings came along, and maybe a year or so after I built the layout. So this is 2019. Maybe, you know, they might have been 2020, or they might have been the same year. But whatever it was, they released their Hunt couplings, their magnetics, and it was a godsend for the likes of me, because in Torridon Road being a small little layout, I can't keep most of my stock on there, and I have to keep taking it on and off. If I want to produce a rake of wagons and things like that, they've got to come on and off. And the old days of the tension lock coupling, oh god, it was a nightmare. You know, even with the little tool to sort of like slip under the wagons, and oh, what a faff, you know. So when the Hunt couplings came along, it was a game changer. And so I was an early adopter. I mean, you know, I've got the original Hunts, and I still have. You know, because they worked absolutely 100%. So I've not changed them. I mean, I can't say, you know, I'm not going to take them out to try the new Hornby coupling, because my Hunt and Elites work perfectly well. So I ain't going to change them. And they don't look too bad. So yes, so West Hill Wagon Works. And so I had a good old chinwag with the guys on there, because as I said, you know, I might have been an early adopter, and I think on my very first YouTube videos I, you know, shouted their praises from the rooftop. So, you know, they always like, you know, they reckon that, I don't know why, but they seem to know who I am. I don't know why. Anyway, so that was good to chat along to them. And then whilst I was chatting to them, Michael came along. Michael from him for the 40-foot layout up in the loft, another YouTuber. Fantastic setup he's got up there, and he's done it all himself. You know, this huge layout he's got, all fully scenic by himself. You know, there's nothing not finished on there. He's done all the detailing, all the ballasting, you know, and it's a massive layout. So, you know, and with that though, he runs prototypical trains, because he's got the, you know, he has got the space and the length of track. On these, he likes his freight stuff, and so he runs prototypical freight length trains. And that's, you know, I can't afford to do that anyway, you know. I mean, so I always have a little laugh with him as regards, you know, his deep pockets, because, you know, he likes the newer Curacao stuff and everything like that. So, but I tell you what, the if he wants to get a rake of auto ballasters together, and I don't know if he's already got the first release from Bachmann, but Bachmann had released that again, and they had it at the show. But £90 a wagon, £90 for a wagon. I mean, it's a lovely, you know, it looks the part. It's an auto ballaster, so it's not a simple looking thing. It's quite detailed. But bearing in mind, they've already got the castings and all the rest of it. They've not had to... and everything, but £90 a pop, crikey. And in, you know, in the real world, you get 10 or more of those together. The length of the trains are so long, they normally have a class 66 at the front, and then possibly, 19 of those things together, and then another 66 popping up the rear because they're so long. So you can imagine paying £90 a pop for that. Oh my God. Oh, I can't afford that. But yeah, Mike's layout, yeah, looks absolutely fabulous. So it was great to see you, Mike. And another one I run into was Robert. Robert's train sets. Good old Robert. I'll rib Robert up a lot. I always take the mick out of him and everything. I keep teasing him about his videos and things, and needs to start a cooking channel or something like that, because he's always having his cup. Oh, talking to a cup of tea, I was going to say he's always having his cup of tea. Cheers. Always going off to have something to eat. So it's great. Anyway, great to chat, meet up with Robert. Anyway, it's been a while, so that was good. So yeah, so I bought my Elite couplings from Westhill Wagon Works, and I'll show you why I like them so much. So with that ado, so I haven't got many running sequences to put on the end of this now, because as literally this is, I haven't been down here to do a lot of filming, because now I can if the weather's going to start improving. So let's have a little looky at what I've been up to. I'll show you the yard lamp is now being repaired, so I'll show you that, and I'll also show you this very large length train that I've got running around. You'll see it running, but I want to show you the couplings, alright, which is why I like my couplings so much. Alright, okay, so until next, I think that's it for now. I've waffled on a lot, haven't I? Do apologise. But yeah, otherwise everything's hunky-dory, I'm pleased to say. So, got to look forward to the Acura Scale 37s, that's coming out. So I've just got the TPEs, and now I've got the 37s they want paying for. Oh God! Oh dear. That's why I didn't buy anything really much at the Great the show. Yeah, wasn't going to do it there. Plenty of things to buy if you could buy it. But anyway, right. Enough waffling. Let's get on with seeing some trains. Yeah. All right. So all the best, people. All right. Bye for now. Bye bye. Okay. Here's the yard light in the yard tower that in question that went wrong. Was this one at the end here that went wrong? I'll show you in a second. But so Scale Model Scenery makes this lovely model. It's a bit fragile. You've got to be careful of assembling it. And then I had the wonderful task of attaching the 4 LEDs to the top. You probably can see the wiring. It's not really that obvious because everything's sprayed grey. But there's fine, there is wire, and then there's obviously a wire going all the way through it. But because it's got a ladder and all the rest of it going through, it's a lovely little model. And the way I've attached it to the baseboard is, the wires. But there's a magnet in the baseboard. The magnet is attached to some broken scalpel blades that are stuck to the base of the yard tower. So when you put it back in, just feed the wires back through. Hold on, there we are. So the magnet holds it, but it's resilient. It can knock it, and it doesn't do any harm because the magnet is going to take it back. So it takes a little bit of a knock, and there you go. See, and there are the lights, so 4 lights there, so nice and bright. So those lights was from one of those ones, the ones with the 4 lamps on it there. That's the one I used. So I used those lights, cut the wires down, and was able to hold up, got to put this back in, was able to put them on there. And of course by the time it's all grey, sprayed up grey and everything, yeah, it works a treat. So I was, quite chuffed that I was able to repair that. It's a bit fiddly, I know, but there we are, sorry. Just putting it back in again, and that's it. And that's the old yard lamp. Why did I zoom in and zoom out? So that's that. And there's another one over there, actually, because I've got 2. Alright, that's that. Right, so here we are. This is the, at the moment in time, the longest train that I've ever have running around Torridon Road. It consists of 8 Mark IIIs and 2 barrier wagons. And as you can see, it's quite long. because it goes along the front, goes underneath the what I call the top estate there, and then that's the last barrier wagon actually sticking out the end there. Okay. So a very, very long train, too long really, but I only put it on there when I want to do, when I want to film something or other, because that I suppose is what I enjoy, as opposed to running around, just going round and round and round. I do enjoy filming. But the thing about this train is, as you can see, they're corridor coaches, and that is the gap that I am getting thanks to the magnetics. Okay, so on the straight there is no gap to, well, hardly any to talk to, just about see it, and yet that's when it starts looking odd, because as it goes round the third radius, but nevertheless it does, and it opens up and successfully goes round. And it's just the good old magnets. Let's have a look. And there we are. So it's quite a job to separate them. So and that's then there we are. And it's cool, blimey. So there we are. So there's 10 coaches there, snapped together nicely. There we are, no issues whatsoever, goes round the third radius. I won't put it on the second radius because the coaches are long, and it looks, the overhang going around the second radius is really, I don't like, but it's what I've got to live with. So, I'll keep it on this one out here for filming purposes, and you'll see what I did with the filming. So yeah, so using magnetics, you get that lovely close finish. Fantastic. So why... with a tension lock coupling, you'll have half an inch gap in between there, wouldn't you? And yet they're supposed to be corridor coaches, and yet you have an half-inch gap. So I don't see why you stick with those horrible tension locks. Because for me, for this thing, when I take these off the layout, it's just a second's work. Just split it from its whatever it is, and you're lifting it off. Fantastic. So, and yet, back up and running in seconds, and that's why I went onto the magnets for this layout. It's a godsend. Everything's magnets. Even the rail treatment train is everything's magnets. I will put on the film clips of the Flying Scotsman, because I had her out running the other day, celebrating she's 100 years old. And the Flying Scotsman, as she runs on today's rails, is fitted with a corridor tender, which my Scotsman has got. So therefore my corridor tender butts up to its following coach. So, and then for the following 3 coaches, they butt up together as well. So you'll see on the film, and I took a couple of still pictures, there's no gap going along with the Scotsman as well. Okay, that's the yard lamp that gave me problems, but it's now fixed. Right.